Hey all, Hertz here. Welcome back to episode 2 of Incremental Factory. In the last episode, we built our base, we got the uh, production for everything going into our build storage. Um, I did do a thing or two in between episodes. These stone, uh, the stone kilns here, they still had the 5 coal and 25 kilns, so I switched all those so they're 32 kilns. And then also on this map, I built out the rest of the walls. So, so our research here is maxed out, so I am just going to research this real quick. So the base is doing something, and we're going to go ahead and excavate down to the second level so we can see how this little mini game works. So critters are going to spawn until this timer runs out, and then we just have to make sure that we can kill them all before the excavator dies, is generally the game. So as you can see, I mean, this is, mildly interesting. It's a little tower defense game. Um, Now I can't hit these two because there's no gun in this corner, and they'll just dig through until they get into range of one of the turrets. And there you have it. Okay, so this is our bonus that we get for succeeding with that level. This is 2x the max game speed. So you can increase your game speed down here. What that basically means is for every second that happens in real life, 2 seconds go by in the game. So I'm gonna just whip out this wall repair tool here, fix our walls, and let's go to the next level. You can see this one's a little bit harder. There's a new mob in here. It has, I'm guessing, twice as many hit points. So this corner is clear, this corner is not, because obviously there are no guns over here. Okay, that one. Now we get a 25% yield to all resources. So on the left here, it's going to add 25% to each of these. So we'll get a nice little buff for a minute. As you can see there. And I'm just going to repair these real quick. Okay, and we'll just dig down to the next one. You can see we're struggling to keep up here. And this wave of guys are going to go in and kill our extractor. So what that tells us is that we are going to need to do some research. The research that we're going to need to do is these turret attack speeds, turret damage, and turret range. And then also this reduce all your units damage taken by 15%. But if you notice, these require 5,000 red science. And right now, all of our red science is being made inside of the headquarters, which has a maximum storage size of 2,500. So we're going to have to make our entire science production, and that's going to go off into this warehouse over here on the side. Um, so let's get started with that. Another thing I'm going to do, let's see, there was something wrong with steel. What was it? I think it was we just need maybe another one of these. Um, but okay. Uh, let's get a node. Oops. This node is gonna have red science go into there. So, like normally this is gonna have gears come in here. I'm gonna do something a little different than this is gonna harken back to like when we first made our first parcels. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make 20 of these buildings in here. Whoops. And then I'm gonna make 10 gear presses. So now this building is just gonna take 10 plates in per second, and it's gonna output um, 2 science a second. I think this will be like a little bit easier to organize. The problem is the edge speed. So since the gear press produces more items than um, it inputs, it's more efficient to make it inside of the parcel. I don't know how to put that. It's like copper wire in Factorio. Um, like you never transport the copper wire, you transport the copper plate, and then you make it on site. It's kind of the same mindset there. So these are just going to take, instead of taking in gears, this is going to take in uh, iron plate. Um, so that's going to make 2 a second. Our goal is going to be 16 science a second. So I'm going to need 8 of these buildings. Yeah, that's all correct. And then each one of those buildings takes 10 plates. So I need to produce 80 uh, iron plate a second. And since the edge speed on these is uh, it's still 16, so that means 5 of these smelters. And I'm going to do the same thing. Since the edge speed is only 16, I'm going to make 16 smelters, and then I'm going to just make enough coal for them inside of here. So that is going to export plate. Since we have like a throughput target, the reason why I made everything overbuilt and everything over here, because we're just trying to make as many as we can to get it into build storage. But since we have a throughput target, I know exactly how much throughput I want to go through. So, so I'm just kind of like, making those parcels cheat a little to, 'cause I know exactly what I want them to do. Um, so let's make that node for those, and then we're going to make these all be, oh, that wasn't supposed to be a node, that was supposed to be an extraction parcel. Let's get that going. Okay. There's that copy bug again. Wow, this is just happening everywhere. All right. All right, one more of these. And there it didn't do the copy bug, which is crazy. And I need a total of 8 of these. And we will need several more of these extractors. Okay, now if we look at our research here, we'll see that the science is going up quickly. As we're producing, I mean, it's up to 10 a second there. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started now on to green science. So green science here takes 12 copper cables. I'm going to do a similar thing here since copper cables produce more than its input. So I need six copper cable extruders to one green science. So that's 7 total buildings, so I can fit 4. Then 24 of these, and that'll make 28 buildings in here. Or 24 of these. 24 of these. So this is going to require 24 copper plate in and 16 bricks. 6 times? Yeah. The 16 bricks in and 24 copper plate in. So, all right, so the problem is our edge speed is still 16. So we're gonna have to do something a little funky here. Well, what we're gonna have to do is just have two nodes come in, and each will come in with 12 copper plate each. Well, oh no, wait, the node. Hold on. Now the node can the edge speed on these are 64, so I don't. I'm just gonna put that to the side for a second. And since the edge speed on these are still 16, I'm gonna do the same thing that I did, which is just produce the coal inside of the production parcel. This is for brick. Oh my god, I'm doing the wrong thing. Brick is gonna go down here. Um, this is for plates. Once again, I'm gonna do the same thing, whereas I'm gonna have 16 smelters and a couple of coal miners. I mean, that's fine. And okay, so this needs 24, and there are going to be 4 of these, so 48, so I need 96 total plate. So 96 divided by 16 is 6. So I need 6 of these guys right here. Oh my gosh. Ah, held. That's not what I meant to do. Um, just trying to move that out of the way, and I held down Alt while I was moving it, so it copied it. All right, let's copy these guys. And I should have looked this up before I started copying them. But, oh well. And then we'll need some extractors. Now, later on in the game, your yield numbers get really low. You get some technology to boost your extraction speed, but we're going to need, since this outputs 16 a second, And this requires 32 a second. We're going to need 2 of these extractors per one of these production modules. But we're not at that part of the game yet. You have this massive stall happen when your yield numbers just start to tank. And then your whole factory stops working correctly, and it takes a second to figure out why that happens. It's because your yield goes down. I'm not a particular fan of the yield system in this. I see what they're trying to do, but as the game goes on, I think like the min yield should maybe be like 50%, and then you get the boost through the research of 200%. So it just puts it back down to like a standard ratio. I don't know. Having this vary all the time just makes your factory do weird things. Okay, so that is producing enough copper. Let's get the stone brick going. Let me make a note here. So we're going to need, these are producing 16 and these need 16, so we need 1 stone brick for each of the green science production buildings, which there will be 4 of these buildings, so we need 4 stone brick. Let's get those going. Let's make sure, yes, those are making their own coal. Oh, this is wrong. This should be outputting coal. Or not coal, it's stone. Oops. There we go. Okay, stone out, stone. Okay. Let's tighten that up and let's duplicate those 2. And that copy bug is super annoying. And I'm just going to make these in a 1-to-1 ratio with the bricks right now. Because the yield and the multiplier are still that 1.6 multiplier for output, and the yield is at 1.37. So these are still producing like way more, but those numbers are going to go down in the future. Okay. Now that we have, yep, that's going to do bricks to there. And we should see this number go to 4 a second. That's our target. And then we are going to make 4 of those. Of course it's doing it again. Okay, when these build out, they should each be going at 4 seconds. And these should all be going 16 a second. They should be pulling 32 a second. They should be pulling 24 a second. They should be 16, 16, 32. All right, it looks like that is what's happening. Okay, so this is rocking out at peak efficiency. Okay, let's just tighten this up a little bit. And now we have 16 green science a second. So I'm gonna go on a little spending spree here. I'm just gonna get those two since we're making. Oh, look at our electricity. Let's go back to the map. Um, okay, so we're gonna buy turret attack spree, turret damage. I mean, that power thing is super cheap. I'll just do it because we're having a power issue right now. So I'm gonna buy these two next, but one of the things we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to fix our excavator down here. So move that real quick and replace the excavator. And these are go out by 6. So there we go. I just need to fill this in if I can draw a straight line, which has proven to be more difficult than it seems. All right. Now I'm going to replace the turrets. This is going to blow through our resources very quickly. As these, I think this one, the third one, costs 10k stone brick. So let's go back to research and we'll get this range. Well, we're still struggling here with power. It's because all the factory just turned back on. I'm just going to do that. I'm sure I can make this a little bit more efficient. Um, the one extractor, in theory, is creating 16 coal. But I'll just make a note here anyway. And then the whole production full of the coal power plants. Um, that'll take 16 a second. So in theory, without yield, I can just connect one of these to one of these, and that should work. But I'm gonna just build this out how I built everything else out because, as I say, the yield numbers go down over time, and we may have to like just add a bunch of extractors or whatever. So let's put this makes this as flexible as possible. All right, I'm going to subtract all those and add all of those. Move that up further and get it like kind of out of the way. Okay. And so I'm just gonna delete those, just as we have a new way of doing power now. Okay. So now we have a whole bunch of power. All right, let's go back to research. We'll get the damage taken, go back down to the excavation, get this last turret put in. Next thing we need are walls, which are also exceptionally expensive. Everything that you create on this level is just so expensive. So we'll wait for our numbers to go back up over there. All right. Now, we don't have anything else to research except with blue science, so we're going to need to make some blue science. Now, so the part of making blue science is you need Gen 1 chips, and Gen 1 chips are required to create the blue science laboratory. So we have to make Gen 1 chips and have those go into our build storage. So let's get started on that. Oh, stop it. Okay, Gen 1 chips. So, we need silicon for this. So, we need to dig down to level 4. So I think we might do the same thing here. This, we're gonna have this make 16. No, that won't work. Because we need to have 1.5 extruders to each one chip. So if I make this 8, I'll just push this down to 8. Oh, what am I doing? Go down to 8. And then if I make this 12, we can just take in 12 plate. And that will simplify this. So that will, what, yeah, we'll take in 12 plate and 16 silicon into this node. So that way we won't exceed our edge speed. Even though we get it from a node anyway, I don't know, maybe that'll be a little bit more simple. So our target here is to make 32 chips a second. But we're going to have to build the rest of this out real quick. There we go. Okay. Now let's go ahead and give this a shot again. And so our turrets are going to hit harder. They have a longer range. They have a faster attack speed. So they're going to deal with this a lot better than they did last time. Well, they're getting close. This should be enough to... There. Okay. Now we just unlocked silicon and quartz. Thing about quartz, you need 3 quartz to make 1 silicon. And then also the quartz extractors require 150 steel. So we're going to have a problem here with steel coming up. So let's go back to the map. Yeah, we're gonna have to build out steel. Let's get like just a little bit going first. A little bit of these chips going and a little bit of the blue science, and then we'll address steel. So this one is going to make 8. So you are going to need node coming in with cable. No, with plate, because the cable's made inside of here. And then so I'm gonna do the same trick. We're gonna have 16 smelters. I'll just have 4 coal. Or 5 is fine. That is making plate. Maybe over 1. Maybe over 1. You are doing chips out. And you can use the arrow keys to move you on the map. Uh, if that strand there is too far away, that connection. And then you're gonna need a node. It's not coal. What are you doing? It is copper ore. And then an extractor for copper ore. Okay, so all that is going through as planned. This will only need 12 in, but we're going to have 4 of those. So 12 times 4 is going to be 48. So we need 3 of these, making 16 apiece. So I'm going to hold down Alt. Bye. You just cannot copy without doing that bug. All right, 3 of those. And we'll need 4 of these. Oh, come on. Why is that not copying? There we go. And now I need the silicon. Okay. So this is going to need 16 silicon in each. So let's make a node. And just line that up over here. So let's see. Production for silicon. So I'm going to do the same little technique here. I'm going to make 16 silicon in here, and it's going to make its own coal here. It'll need 4 coal power plants. So 16 and 4. That's going to need quartz coming in. And we will need... Oh, I didn't build more of these. Okay, and then you are quartz. Oh, all the spacing got messed up because there's an extra... It's because it changes the height of the box when the more items you have in. Oh, and another thing, we kind of dodged a bullet here. Um, I will show you that in a second. It's the number of connections from a node. Oh, I'm holding down Alt. Oh my god. Wait. Stop, 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 stop. Well, we're gonna need you. I was just trying to hold down Shift to move everything, and I held down Alt instead. Okay. Okay, let's get you connected. You connected. So I'm going to overbuild this a little. Uh, so we need uh, 16 going into each of these, so we need a grand total of 64, so that's 4 of these silicon. So our quartz yield is... So having one of these miners for one of these... Oh, wait a minute. No, I need at least 2. Oh, that already filled up the storage. Oh, I need to put this also into... I'm going to hold the warehouse up here. Okay. Um, all right, let me just make sure everything is lined up. It looks like something is off. These are all over by 1. So off by 1. Um, okay. Since these are feeding in, I'm just going to move this up so everything is nice and compact. All right, there. That's our 32 a second Gen 1 chips. Now, the problem with Blue Science is that it takes Gen 1 chips and then also a bunch more silicon. So let's get started over here on that. So I'm gonna grab this, and I'm holding the up arrow key here to scroll up. And that's gonna be blue science going in there. We're going to have a production building. Now, so that takes 4 chips and 8 silicon. For 1 blue science. Um, okay. Uh, so 16 silicon. So one of those silicon factories makes 16, and one of those Gen 1 chip factories makes 8. So this is kind of perfect here. So if I do 2, if this makes 2, and I put a node. Let's get these. What is wonky here? That one is just weird. Yeah, okay. Whoops. So if you're putting in the Gen 1 chips, I can just take one of these. Actually, I'm going to just copy this very top little bit here and hit Control C. Oh, Control C will copy. I'm going to come over here and hit Control V. And do that. Now I'll build the rest of this out. This is just to get us started. And I'm going to make connect that there. I'm going to make a node down here for the silicon. And we're going to do a similar thing. I'm going to just copy this little slice right there. Paste it down. Let that build. And then move this into place. Let's see. Okay. Those are lined up. So now this should be, in theory, making science. You're not making science. Because we don't. No, you have coal coming in here. You have plate. Oh, we don't have the silicon or the chip production. So the other piece that we need is we need this slice. Okay. This is going to have to be moved down further. So we need this slice again and a copy. Let's paste that down. This slice needs to feed into here. And then this slice feeds into here. So it takes a ton of silicon. So let's let that finish copying. Now our eventual rate, we're going to need 3 of these, at least 3 of those. So let's start copying these. Why won't you copy? There. I copy this. All right, so we're going to come over here and move this slice. So it's right there. And then we're going to get you your silicon. Now let's add another one of these. Okay, so we are actually producing blue science at this point. Now it's going to be up to us to build out these different pieces. So I need to build a total of 4 of these down here. But now that we are actually making this research, we can do a couple of things. This one. So instead of our extraction building bonus, instead of that being 1.6 or like 160%, this will up that to 200%. That one's very helpful. But the next one we're going to get is this one, the edge throughput to 24. And then the node parcel multiplier will be 8 instead of 4. So that'll put our the node parcels throughput up to, I think it's 192. So that, I'm looking forward to that one. So let's add the reason why I'm doing this in such a weird way is because like one of these quartz nodes, let's look, it's 150 steel per per quartz extractor times 16 extractors in the building. That's 2,400 steel, and we're right now making about 25 a second. So that's 96 seconds worth of steel. So, I'm trying to spread that out a little bit so it doesn't take as long. All right, that should be at least okay for the time being. And now we need 4 of these. And then we need to build this out so it looks like this. But as you see, we're like way down on steel. So let's look at steel here for a second. Oh, one of the things that'll help. So as this research continues to trickle in, as soon as I can get this research, I'm going to get this. That will up our steel production quite a bit. We just have a couple more seconds to wait for that. Because currently I think we're making 2 a second. Right. So eventually we're going to make 4 of these blue science bits. We have the Gen 1 circuits built out to support that, but we need to then make 4 of those silicon and then at least 8 of these. So let's start doing a bit of that. Let's see, is this done yet? It sure is. So now our edge throughput is now 24. So that's going to help out our steel. So let's get, so 24 times 8 is 192. So I'm going to just make another steel. I'm going to hold Alt down. So we're not making enough ore over here. So I'm going to just add 2 more down there. But probably, is this going? That's holding still. Is, okay, no, that's back up. Okay. And now we just increased our steel production by a bit. Now, a thing that's going to happen here, when this gets up to 1,000, we're going to buy this next. So that'll mean our edge throughput is even higher than 65 right now. So I can up this. So that has helped out on steel. Let's check that again. All right, let's go back and get more of these copying. Okay, so now that's going pretty good, and now I can just add, hold the Alt key, and oh my God, I cannot make a copy to save the life of me. Doesn't have that bug. Okay, as long as those are keeping up, we're good here. Looks like we're hitting energy problems. Oh, I mean, I guess I'm gonna do that. Just move that further out of the way. Um, yeah. And I guess I'll just add a couple more. Push our energy problems pretty far away. I think it's the quartz uses a lot of energy, or the silicon. Silicon, oh, it's 7 energy. Yeah, that uses a ton. Okay. Now let's get our this edge throughput done. Right, we're not quite making enough to keep up. So let's grab, well, I'm just gonna grab all 4 more. Just let this build for a while. So another thing you're going to notice here, if you look down at our parcels, if you look at the costs, those costs are just going up and up and up. You know what? We do use copper cable for, so I'm just going to I'm going to drag this to the warehouse. I didn't realize copper cable was used in building any in these nodes. Okay. Um, Now, let's see, are these done? They are done. So now we're making 8 signs a second, which is pretty decent. I'm going to copy all of those. All right, we're looking pretty good here. We got 8 signs a second. Um, So I think we're going to wrap the episode here. In this episode, we got our Gen 1 science created and put into build storage, and then we added our entire science chain over here. So the red, green, and now we added blue science. We upgraded our power up here. Let me just tighten that up real quick. Alrighty. And then we also excavated down to level 4. Um, so thanks everybody for picking up what I'm putting down. We'll see you next time for episode 3 of Incremental Factory.